Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions. Thank you again for our time together. Please don't forget, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Joe and Becky are going to be in the services. It's going to be a wonderful time of worship and miracles, praying for the sick, and we're starting our 30-day Bible reading program where we finish the entire New Testament in the month of January. If you've not joined us, it's not too late to catch up. Just go to one of our Facebook sites, any Facebook site of any of our campuses. You can download the reading guide very easily. I want us to go back today to the book of Genesis chapter 3, where all the troubles of all mankind began, the temptation in the garden. Chapter 3, verse 1. The serpent was the shrewdest of all the wild animals the Lord God had made. One day he asked the woman, "Did God really say you must not eat the fruit from any of the trees in the garden?" Now notice, Satan always throws in a little lie with temptation just to get you in the discussion. Now, one of the things I've learned is don't have conversations with the devil, okay, because he's a liar. But he tries to get you into a discussion with a little lie. "Of course we may eat fruit from the trees in the garden," the woman replied. "It's only the fruit from the tree in the middle of the garden that we are not allowed to eat. God said you must not eat it or even touch it. If you do, you will die." "You won't die," the serpent replied to the woman. "God knows that your eyes will be opened as soon as you eat it, and you will be like God, knowing both good and evil." The woman was convinced. Now, all temptation is a persuasion. Let me say that again. All temptation is about persuasion. The woman was convinced. She saw the tree was beautiful and it looked delicious, and she wanted the wisdom it would give her. So she took some of the fruit and ate it. Then she gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it too. Now, I want you to notice 4 stages of being convinced to sin. 4 stages that persuasion takes to convince you to sin. And it's all there in verse 6. She saw. You know, when the devil starts tempting you to do something, stop looking at it. Now, let me say that again one more time. Stop looking at it. If it's pornography, if it's finances, if it's corruption, whatever it is that you're being tempted, stop looking at it. Because the longer you look at it, then the second stage begins. She wanted it. Okay? That's the second stage. You keep looking at it, and then you want it. The third stage, she touched it. This is the selfishness of sin. Now, the Hebrew word here for touched is a very powerful word. It means to take possession of as if it belongs to you. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil, there in the center of the garden, was the one thing that God had said. It's the principle of the tithe, okay? The one thing God said was his. And he said, you are to take care of it. They physically touched it on a regular basis to take care of the tree and to be a good steward of the tree. But he said, now, don't take possession of it. Don't act like this is yours. Everything else is yours. Enjoy it. But this one thing is mine. So when it talks about touching, we're not talking about not taking care of the tree as a good steward. She took it as her own possession. That's what the Hebrew word here for touched means. And then lastly, she gave. The persuasiveness of sin is such that we want other people to join us in it. I call it the generosity of sin. As soon as she did it, she gave some to her husband. Have you ever noticed how generous sin is? Sin is far more generous than righteousness. Okay. Now, I know that sounds like a heretical statement, but whenever people sin, they want others to join them. I can still remember on campuses in high school, guys were smoking marijuana sticks, and they'd pass them around and give a toke off. We call it a toke. You could get a hit off anybody who wanted one. They just pass it around. You walk through the streets of Tondo and guys are sitting around drinking an ebra. They'll offer you a free drink as you walk by. Sin is very generous. So again, notice the 4 stages of the persuasion of sin. You look at it, she saw. You want it. She touched it, took possession of it. And then, because now she's in control of it, she offers it generously to others. Learn, first things first, the eye gate, as the Bible talks about. Stop looking